one should be vegan just because of health. I don't tell my patients to go vegan. I tell them to go plant-based. I do say eat fish or supplement.
Okay, really quick video because it's hot out here, but there's no lighting anywhere else. I've got 3 questions for the vegans, and it should be pretty simple. So, the first question would be, what if not everyone can be vegan? Like, you know, if it's physically impossible for us as humans, what if a certain percentage of us require animal foods to function, be healthy, not even like thrive in like tip-top health, you know, just to be functioning as humans, to be able to take care of ourselves, our children, animals, you know what I mean? So, and let's just pretend, because normally when I talk to vegans about this, they just start telling me how everyone can do it. Just play along, okay? This is... So let's just pretend all of the vegan doctors, you know, there's some study that they all agree with for whatever reason, and they have determined it's pretty cut and dry that not all people can do it. Doesn't matter the percentage of people, just not all people can do it. Because if they can't, if there is a percentage of people that can't, whether that's 10% or 50% or most or 90%, then everything else, ethics, name the trait, like all these other arguments, don't they sort of fall by the wayside if not all people can do it anyway? Okay, so this brings me to number 2. And is there any ex-vegans, any, that did it right? And I know there's no way they could have done it right because they were never vegan. I've got that answer a lot of times. I'm talking about as far as nutritionally, what they should have been eating to be able to stay on that diet. Is there any ex-vegan you can think of that did it right? And if not, isn't that sort of like statistically impossible that all of them were either lying, placebo, or did it wrong? All of them. And that brings me to number 3, because if all of these people are doing it wrong, let's just try to be logical here. Be consistent. If all of these people are doing it wrong and you really believe that, then doesn't that make it really hard to do this diet? And shouldn't that alone prove that you shouldn't be recommending this to everybody? You shouldn't be advocating for it, for everyone to do this. You shouldn't be saying everyone can do this, because you just said they can't. You have said that most people can't, because you say it every time there's an ex-vegan. So doesn't that stand to reason that if you care for humans, if you care for animals, if you have compassion, you don't want to see a large part, you know, amount of people become malnourished like this because they're, you know, whatever, they're so stupid they can't get it right. I mean, you see what I'm saying here? So you shouldn't be advocating, you shouldn't, not only can they not do it, right, you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, doesn't that stand to reason that a large population of people can't do it? Even if everyone could do it right, a lot of people are too stupid or too selfish or whatever to be able to do it right. And so because of that, yeah. And so, so that's it. That was just the 3, and I'll go over them. What if it can't be, you know, healthy for everyone? What if everyone can't do it? What then? Number 2 is there any ex-vegans who did it right? Like, name one or just a handful. And I'm not talking about the extreme cases where it's like this person was allergic to everything. That's why, you know, they did it right. They could, you know. But is there one ex-vegan that was a normal situation that did it right and still, you know, their health failed and there was nothing they could do about it? And number 3 is, shouldn't, if it's so hard for people to get this right, shouldn't that alone prove that not everyone should be doing it? This isn't for everyone. That's it. Now, Garth Davis just put out a video, and he actually acknowledged the pitfalls with vegan, well, some of them. He acknowledged DHA and how pescatarians are actually healthier than vegans, and this is probably why. But then he goes on to say, well, I'll let you listen to it, but just like every other vegan with these ex-vegan women, particularly, who say they were taking vegan DHA, they say they were taking algae, and then every ex-vegan says, why didn't you just take vegan DHA? And it's like, what are you listening to? It's the most selective hearing. It's so, like, I think the bias is just so, that you can't get through it. It's like a big cloud that you can't see through. So you need to step back. You need to step back and like rationally think this through, and listen to what people are saying. Like every ex-vegan, every response video from the vegans is like making all these assumptions, like just huge leaps in assumptions. Whether the person had like lists of stuff you can go through and see what they were eating exactly, look on Chronometer, whether that, or like with Miley where she gives very few details, but she did say she saw a lot of doctors, she was taking all the supplements, that means including DHA. She said she was particularly having a problem with her brain and dry skin. Of course, that would be one of the supplements she would be taking. It's like, where's the logic, So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. And, looking at these comment sections, they're all like cheering each other on, like, yeah, you tell them she was just a plant-based poser, selfish bitch, all this. And, they're supporting each other, these vegans, and their response videos. But the thing is, it's like, don't you see, if we go back to number one, where for whatever reason, let's just pretend, and, you never would think that you would be an ex-vegan, but let's pretend one day you realize that not everybody can do this. All these people would drop you like that. You mean nothing to them. Their love for you is contingent on this diet, this ethical lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. It's contingent upon that. This fish, these eggs mean so much more to them than you do as a human. Don't you see that? Like, okay, so listen to Garth Davis. That's all I got.
Shows vegans live exceedingly long, healthy life, but guess who's healthier than them? The pesco-vegetarians. And there is a reason for that. It turns out that omega-3s are important to our body. And we are learning more and more about this. There was a recent trial with high-dose pharmaceutical-grade fish oil that did show a reduction in cardiac mortality in people with high triglycerides. We also know from several trials that people with low DHA and EPA, which are long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, tend to actually have their brain shrink over time. There have been studies showing that supplementation with omega-3 can help with concentration in people that are having problems and DHA and EPA deficient. And get this, vegetarians and vegans can easily be EPA and DHA deficient, even if you're taking flaxseed, eating flaxseed and chia seeds, because that produces ALA, but your body has to turn ALA to DPA and EPA, or DHA and EPA, and it has about a 10% efficiency in doing so. And so that can create a problem, and that may be why we see a better survival in pescatarians in the Adventist Health Study.
It's a religion at this point. It's a really weird, really sad religion.